Hey, it's Rachel, and today we are going back into business. So I realized that people are actually a little bit hesitant and also kind of wary about writing, especially if they haven't written much. And the first part about writing is actually having a good headlines. So there are many ways to search for headlines, and of course, there are some that are better than others because they've been proven to work, especially if they've come from uh, sort of past marketing articles or maybe even direct sales in the past. And they've been used by many of the masters of copywriters, and they've sold many units of that particular product or service. So today we're going to go through a few headlines and how you can use those to start capturing the first bit of your customer's attention before we dive into looking at the rest of the copy. And so here is the share screen. All right, so today we're going to talk about classic headlines. And why I say classic, it's because they have been more often used in the past and they've been proven to work. So to me, they're kind of like classics. And why are headlines important? So the first reason is because it hooks your audience into reading the next line or watching the next little bit of your video. And so that's how you're going to get to nurture your audience a little bit more, because if they don't read your stuff, if they don't watch your video, then you lose the chance to connect with them and say whatever you want to say to them or try to build that relationship. So without a catchy headline, you won't get people's attention, nor will you get their time, which means no nurture, which means no sales. So how do you write a good headline? So there are a few different headlines that I'm going to break down today. I believe it's 7. And we're just going to look through as to how you can start off with those and move forward to the rest of your copy. So the first one is get rid of your problem once and for all. The problem is something that you want to fill in, which is the problem that your prospects have. It's not what you think they have, but what they actually have. So for example, in a dentist case, they could say, get rid of that toothache once and for all. So you can go to the dentist and, get your tooth problems sorted, or get rid of your retirement worries once and for all. When you've got like a financial planner who's going to do all your financial planning for you and make sure that, you're having all your finances in place, you got like bonds and whatever the case is. Or get rid of those sleepless nights once and for all. Maybe you've got like insomnia and you're basically selling, the prospects got insomnia, and then you're basically selling something to help them to sleep so they will no longer have sleepless nights. Or maybe their baby is up crying all night, and so you are able to calm the baby down, make sure that the baby is really tired throughout the day, and so they sleep completely throughout the night, and that's also helping someone like parents. And so being this problem, it needs to be something that your prospect understands, and it's in a language that they use. So you can't say something like get rid of your dyspepsia, but you could say something like get rid of your stomach problems, or if they would understand reflux, then reflux would probably be it. And you want to continue on with the rest of your copy, digging into a bit more of the pain, that problem that they have, and how much it's causing them like distress, and also what is it costing them to have that problem. And so they need to realize and become more aware of the problem that they're having, realize how much pain it's causing them, and after that, look for you for their solutions. The next one is who else wants desire? And sometimes you can even add without, so like a particular thing that they hate. So for example, who else wants to feel healthy again without taking drugs? Maybe you're like a nutritionist and you basically promote like healthy eating, and you don't promote taking drugs. And people don't like to take drugs in general. So, you help them to change their life in a way that they change their diet, they feel healthy again, they don't have to take drugs. And maybe their, health conditions even improve. Like through changing their diet, they might improve in their sugar control, and they might not need to take the sugar drugs anymore. Who else wants home cooked food without any fuss? So you could be like a caterer that has like a home delivery meal service. And obviously you cook kind of home cooked food. So you're not like, hotel style kind of atas outside food, but it's more of like home cooked food, but you deliver it to other people. And you help them to save time so they don't have to cook at home. But they know that it's got this like homey feeling. They've got this like familiar taste of home cooked food without any fuss because you're just, sending it to them. And so that's something that people would want. And the next one would be who else wants to go out again without worrying about your child at home? Sorry, it's worrying, not worry. So for example, you might be a babysitter and your target audience would be like parents with young kids. And then those parents want to have their, what do you call it? Couple time together, but that kid just, you can't leave kid at home. You just gotta take care of it somehow. So it's either they send it off to their grandparents, their parents, which is the kid's grandparents, or they just hire a babysitter, which is you. And so you help them to discover and confirm their desire, which allows them to be aware that you can solve and help them to get this desire without all the painful stuff, all the drugs, all the fuss, all the worrying about their child at home. You can help them to do that. So they don't have to, they can achieve the desire, they can get the desire they want and don't have to deal with all the, hassle and all the ugly things about that particular scenario. And then afterwards, you want to continue the rest of the copy saying, basically how you help them to achieve this desire and talk more about the desire, not like the components or processes, but more about, what this desire is going to do for them. And then you've got the third one, which is thousands now. And then this is like the results that people think it's hard or impossible to achieve, who never thought they could. So it's another classic. It says, for example, thousands now take pride in their figures who they never thought they could, because you might be like a weight loss coach or like a fitness coach, and you help people to transform their bodies from maybe not feeling confident and maybe not quite the figure that they want to be, and then you help to transform that into the figure that they want to be, and now they feel really proud, they feel like they've got this sexy body, they feel like they can show off their body at the beach and things like that, and you've helped so many people achieve it that you give them the confidence that you are able to help them to. And the second one will be thousands now have quit smoking. Well, they never thought they could, because quitting smoking is pretty hard. It's like an addiction. And so people think that it's impossible to quit smoking, but yet you help so many people quit smoking that you already become like the authority in that niche. Or thousands now get the first date who they never thought they could. Maybe they don't have confidence in themselves. Maybe they don't think that they look like the most handsome or the most beautiful person ever, and they don't think that they can get their first date easily. But now we've helped so many people get their first date. And so you give people who haven't worked with you the confidence that you can help them too. And afterwards, you kind of go on more about like your case studies, who you've helped and things like that. The next one would be have a result or kind of like, I guess, change that you can be proud of. So, for example, you might be a body coach, like a weightlifting coach, and you can say something like a sculpt a body that you can be proud of. Maybe that person wants a six-pack, and you can help them to get their six-pack. And so it is the kind of change that you're trying to put in here. Next one could be live in a dream home that you can be proud of. Maybe you're like the interior designer or like the architect, and then you help people to design their homes. And so it's kind of like, giving them that future pacing, that future that they want to think about. And you are able to help them to achieve it. So create an amazing life that you can be proud of could be used in like personal coaching, where you can help people coach on their current lives to see, what needs to improve. Maybe it's their health, their wealth, their relationships, their careers, or their environment, and different like networks maybe. So you could help them in that, just to create the amazing life that they want. And then you will follow on with the copy that shows them that change and how you're going to be able to help them with the change and how that change is going to affect them. And through showing them that they really need the change, that you make them aware of their situation, their current situation, you make them think about their future situation, and then you help them to be aware that there's this gap, and you can fill that gap for them, and they will come looking for you. Next one would be give me time, and usually it's kind of like a short time, and I'll give you result. The result could also be like showing people how the time, because obviously you can't just say to someone that, hey, I'll help you lose 10 kilos in a week, right? So that's not possible, but you can say, give me an hour and I will show you how I can help you lose 10 kilos in a month. And that might work, you know? So something like give me 45 minutes and I'll have your pipes running like new, which is for a plumber. Give me 5 minutes and I'll create the perfect flower arrangement to send to anyone you want, anywhere in the state. Could be like for a florist. And give me 1 hour and I'll give you a brand new hairstyle. It's for like barbers and salons. And basically, you just want to convey to your target audience that you need a short amount of time, and then you're going to give them the result they want, or you're going to show them how to get the result they want in that short amount of time. And so it feels as if like for that prospect that you're going to reduce the time taken to get the result. And it also increases their perception of how valuable your offer is. The next one is the lazy identities way to result. So it's quite classic. There's this headline that says the lazy man's ways to riches in the past, and it worked really well. So a few other examples is the lazy lady's way to make men drool. And that could be for like a makeup, you know, when, let's say, we're not talking about natural beauty here. We're just talking about like how when women put on makeup, they tend to become, I guess, like glowy and more beautiful, and somehow it hides their pimples and their marks and things like that. And then it makes men look at them and say, wow, you look awesome, you know, so things like that. And the next one would be the lazy man's way to 6-packs. Like, how can you get 6-packs without working your ass off at the gym for 2 hours each day? And the third one could be the lazy homeowner's ways to protect your home. So from like home security devices to home security services. And you just want to show them that, hey, you don't have to do anything. It will all be done for you. Or, hey, you don't have to do much. You just have to do this little tiny bit, and you can achieve the result that you want. And because people are, I guess, lazy per se, like they're not willing to admit that, but they're generally, people prefer the easiest route to things. So if you're able to show them and give them the idea that they can do something without too much effort, they can achieve something with minimal amount of hard work, they're more likely to take you up on your offer. All right. And the classic is also, do you make these mistakes in English, I believe? So in the topic matter, basically. So are you making any of these financial mistakes? Could be something the accountant tells you and say that, hey, do you know you could be making these kind of mistakes? And you'd be like, oh, what mistakes? What am I making? Maybe I'm causing myself to pay more tax, you know, things like that. Do you make these management mistakes? Maybe you found that, like, maybe you might be like a manager's coach or something. And, you know, you're telling people, hey, do you make these management mistakes? Maybe that's the reason why all your staff are leaving you. Maybe that's the reason why you're not getting along well with others, okay? And the next one would be, is your estate vulnerable because of these 5 common mistakes? So I believe this applies a bit more to, I think, will and estate planning, which is a bit more of the law stuff, which I don't quite know much about. But essentially, the idea is, for example, setting a will and making sure that your estate is has like a, I guess, transfer of ownership when that person dies, and yeah, things like that. And so you want to, tell people that, hey, are you making these kind of mistakes? Make them aware of, their life and their particular problems. And when you try to point out these mistakes, people will listen to you because they don't want to make mistakes. People have the tendency to try and do something with minimal mistakes. They don't want to make mistakes because they might feel, a bit like humiliated, or they might get laughed at, and they don't want that. So they want to do everything with as little mistakes as possible. And when you're helping them to identify mistakes, then that allows them to put more trust into you and say, okay, this person is pretty good. He's trying to help me to identify my mistakes. And so with that, you also build trust with your audience that way. And afterwards, you dive down into the mistakes that they might make and how you can help them to resolve them. All right, if you like this kind of videos, this is just part one. We've got more classic headlines and a lot more modern headlines, which I'll dive into in other videos. So like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you want more tips on living out your best life and value-driven content, my social media links are up on the top right-hand corner of the page. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.